Every single time someone signs up to my newsletter and downloads the Literature Therapy Startup Guide, I become excited like a child. I know this channel is not about numbers, it's about meaning. It's more about meaningful readers than silent spectators. But there's a part of me that feels everyone joining in is truly interested. If you're one of them, and if you haven't yet downloaded the book, you can sign up to my newsletter. The link is in the description box below. It's a very small space right now, and I will love to have you there, just as much as I love to have you here, where today I'm talking about literature and mental health. A few years ago, I noticed something slightly embarrassing about myself. I owned an alarming number of books that promised to improve my life. Books about habits, about productivity, about decision making, confidence, about getting my life together, which suggested two possibilities. Either I was deeply committed to personal growth, or I was collecting self-improvement books instead of actually improving myself. But what struck me was this: most of these books gave perfectly reasonable advice. The problem wasn't that the advice was wrong. The problem was that I usually already knew it. Sleep more, set boundaries, talk about your feelings, stop procrastinating, spend less time on your phone. Most adults could probably write an entire self-help book from memory at this point. The difficulty is rarely information. The difficulty is implementation. Or more specifically, the difficulty is being human. This is where literature becomes interesting. Advice tells you what to do. Literature helps you understand why you're struggling to do it. And those are not the same thing. Imagine someone tells you you need to let go. A perfectly sensible piece of advice. Very concise, almost elegant. The problem is that people rarely cling to things because they enjoy suffering. They cling because they are frightened, or grieving, or angry, or confused, or because the thing they are being asked to release is tied to their identity. Advice often skips straight to the solution. Literature spends time inside the problem. I think that's one reason books can support mental health in such a powerful way. They don't rush, they stay. A novel can spend 300 pages inside someone's fear. An essay can circle the same emotional question for 20 pages without apologizing for it. A poem can capture something you've felt for years but never managed to explain. And suddenly you recognize yourself. Not because somebody instructed you, but because somebody understood you. That distinction matters more than we often realize. The psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl once wrote that an abnormal reaction to an abnormal situation is normal behavior. I've always liked that observation, partly because it removes a layer of shame. Sometimes what people need most is not correction, it's context, not a solution, an explanation. Not someone saying, "Here's what you should do." Instead, someone must say, "Of course you feel this way." Literature does that remarkably well. Not because books are magical, because writers have been paying attention to human beings for a very long time. Long before psychology existed as a formal discipline, literature was documenting grief, anxiety, loneliness, shame, jealousy, uncertainty, heartbreak, regret, and every other emotional inconvenience attached to being alive. Shakespeare was writing about anxiety centuries before we had modern vocabulary for anxiety. Jane Austen understood social insecurity before anyone called it social insecurity. The Russians built entire novels out of existential dread. They were exceptionally committed to the project. The point is that literature has always been one of humanity's longest running investigations into emotional life. Bibliotherapy takes that seriously. It assumes that books are not only entertainment, they are records, evidence, proof that other people have survived versions of what we are experiencing now. That matters because isolation exaggerates suffering. When people feel alone in an emotion, the emotion often becomes heavier. Not necessarily because it worsens, because it becomes solitary, and solitude changes things. One of the most comforting experiences a reader can have is discovering that a writer who died 100 years ago somehow understands exactly what today feels like. It's slightly unsettling, but mostly comforting. You open a book expecting information, you find recognition. That's what advice often struggles to provide. Advice tends to be directional. Literature tends to be relational. Advice says, here's the answer. Literature says, I've been here too. And for many people, the second thing is more useful. At least initially. Now, I want to be careful here. Literature is not a replacement for therapy. We've talked about that before. Therapy and bibliotherapy do different jobs. If someone is experiencing significant mental health challenges, professional support matters enormously. Books are valuable, they're not clinicians. Books, wonderful as they are, cannot ask follow-up questions. But literature can complement emotional work in ways few other things can. Because it gives language, and language matters. Many people arrive at therapy unable to explain what they're feeling. Many people arrive at a journal and stare at the page. Many people know something is wrong but can't quite name it. Then they encounter a poem, a memoir, a novel, an essay. And suddenly there are words. No solutions, just words. Which is often where solution begins. I think this is one reason I care so much about bibliotherapy. Not because books fix people. I don't think people are broken in the first place. And certainly not because literature makes difficult emotions disappear. Mostly because literature helps people understand what they are carrying, and understanding is usually more useful than advice. At least at the beginning. The older I get, the less interested I become in people telling me what to do, and the more interested I become in people helping me understand what is happening. Literature has been doing that for thousands of years, which, if you ask me, is a remarkably good return on investment for a stack of paper. Think about it.